about Cowboys win because, Cowboys lose because? Very popular segment, I am told. 877-881-1053. Give us your reasons why the Cowboys win tonight, or excuse me, win on Sunday, not tonight, and reasons because the Cowboys lose on Sunday. Would you like to start?
I would like to start for Mike.
Okay.
Here's Mike's answer for Cowboys win, Cowboys lose this week. Kevin, I bet you didn't know he sent me this answer. The Cowboys lose because the other team is better. The Cowboys win because they are the better team. So that is Mike's answer for Cowboys win, Cowboys lose.
That sounds about right.
My reason that they win is they are a better team. They're a better built team for this. And if they go out there and act like it and don't get kind of caught up in what happened last week, then they're going to be the better team on Sunday. Jerry said this multiple times, and I heard McCarthy say this morning with Sean and RJ and Bobby and Peyton and Chris Strong. That list is getting very long for that show, by the way.
There's a lot of people.
That he liked that they won, but also didn't look great against the Browns because when a head coach does that, you can still kick their ass. Your team throughout the week, you can say, you know what, y'all were great. Like, we got the win, that's good. But, man, y'all did this. It could be better. And when you're challenging your team to be better, that's always a good thing. So I think that's one of the big factors for this week is they need to believe they're the better team. And that's why the Cowboys win, because they really are the better team. But I think one of the other factors is for a Cowboys win is we have an aggressive Saints team. Their corners are very good in coverage. They're very sticky, but their safeties like to come down into the box a lot. Dak feasts whenever he has safeties in the box, whenever he has one high safety and he can pick off and say, okay, I got this one side of the field I can throw to. Whenever he has man coverage, he does a very good job at that too. So him and CeeDee Lamb, I think, have a really good opportunity to get some deep plays. Brandon Cooks, I predicted this earlier in the week, Kevin. I think Brandon Cooks is going to have a pretty good day as well because whenever play action happens and those safeties crash down and those linebackers crash in, Brandon Cooks can find some space deep. So Cowboys win because they're going to have some explosive plays downfield because of the aggressive nature of the New Orleans Rams. Not the St. Louis Rams.
Did you say the New
Orleans
Rams?
Saints.
Awesome.
Saints.
All right. So it is also a shout-out Friday from the 214. Shout out to the love of my life. Today is our 5th anniversary, and it's such a blessing to be dating my wife, my best friend. And I'm just going to leave with my best friend. Love you, Adriana. Now, Corey, from my Cowboys win.
Hey.
Do you want options?
Adrian is my best friend.
Adriana.
Yeah, but it's a little close.
Okay.
That person has a best friend named Adriana.
But you have to be careful with names like that because my wife's name is Jessica. She goes by Jess, but if you call her Jessie, she'll despise you. All right, do you want Cowboys win option A or option B?
Option B.
Okay, they limit the penalties. I know when we talked about this with Mick earlier in the week, Cowboys had 11 penalties. He pointed out that Cleveland had a lot of penalties as well. True. I also don't care about the penalty issues of the Cleveland Browns. I care about the penalty issues of the Dallas Cowboys. They've been prevalent for several years. So it was an issue in the first drive, which was brought back by, I believe it was a holding call. And Terrence Steele was like, hey, if we shoot ourselves in the foot, it's going to put us behind the sticks, and we just can't have that. So limit the penalties. And that's something that I think you could actually put in place for all of these games.
Last week, if you were listening to the post-game show, which, by the way, you listen to the post-game show right here on 105.3 The Fan. You have Brian Broaddus talking as he's setting you up for that game. And he pointed out multiple times that he was kind of afraid that the referees would take that game over early with flags. And what happens? Right out of the gate, they're throwing flags all over the field. So that's one of the reasons to continue listening to Broaddus, because before the game, you're going to know some things better than anybody else. But, yeah, man, if you get a crew that doesn't have that kind of happiness along that can be beneficial to what you just pointed out for option B, Kevin.
Now, should I still tell you option A, or is that lost forever, you think?
Go ahead. I mean, I'm the one that thinks that they're playing two different teams this Sunday. So
look, you corrected it immediately. Ish.
Yeah.
Okay, the Cowboys win because they win the battle of the rookie left tackles. Tyler Guyton, number 24 overall pick out of Oklahoma. Talise Fuaga, number 14. Draft pick out of Oregon State. He tied for 5th for Pro Football Focus and the best for a rookie rating. So I know they don't go head-to-head. But if your protection, especially on the left side, stands up better as a rookie than the Saints, I think you win this game.
Fuaga is – who was he going up against in Carolina? Yeah, okay. Who's he going up against this week?
The traded part of Brian Burns? I don't know.
I don't think he's gonna stand the same way he did last week in this game against the Cowboys, just because their edge opportunities are better. I do like that Guyton. I like his discussion on DallasCowboys.com about how letting that one sack by and the way he played. He knows the way he played. He knows he lunged a little too much. He didn't have his feet set underneath him. He knows the things that he did wrong throughout that game, and he's working on correcting those. And I don't know if he was using it as an excuse as much as I still need more preparation and more work. But he was saying, I missed time during camp, and that time was crucial to my progression. And so that after 1 week, he still has more to do. I'm hoping for a bigger upside. I hope that they do win that battle at left tackle, Kevin.
From the 9-7-2, the Cowboys are going to win because the defense will be on David Carr's ass like white on rice.
Okay.
Also, the O-line will have had another week to gel even better. From the 2-1-4, the Cowboys will win because they're just better. The Cowboys lose because they smashed the Brownies before the game.
What do you?
Actually,
they ripped the Brownies?
No, they're actually referring to the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, okay.
But I thought it was more fun if maybe they were smashing the Brownies right before the game in this scenario. From the 2-1-4, Cowboys win because Zeke shows he's got it again. Cowboys lose because somebody really convinced Derek Carr that he's Tom Brady. I mean, look, he had a heck of a first week for sure, but I am not necessarily anticipating that again this week.
I'm interested to see, because we've had Joe Buck on before. We've had the Fox broadcasters on before. I'm interested to see if we can, because we even had Burkhardt before, if we can roll Tom Brady into this mix and finally have an interview with him where we ask him only questions about the game, Kevin.
Okay, so not questions about why did you destroy your cell phone.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm asking.
Yeah.
I'm just asking for clarification ahead of
his
time.
Kids or anything like that. I'll throw a Cowboys lose out there. It's because if they don't take this team seriously, and I'm not saying that that by taking them seriously they're saying they're as good or better than them, but just they can beat you if you don't show up with your A game. And the Cowboys, after getting a win last week, this is why what Mike McCarthy is doing is so important. After getting that win last week, they can't go into it being like, all right, we don't have as much work to do. We don't have to take these guys, this group, as seriously. They really do need to take it seriously and show they can put a thump on this team because, Kevin, if you want to have that four out of the first 5 winning record to start the season, and I'm presuming you're saying a loss to the Ravens, if you want to have that, then, man, that's a goal you set and you go after. You don't let that up.
From the 2-1-4, the Cowboys win because they're more talented. Cowboys lose because they get out-coached by a bad coach. From the 4-0-6, Cowboys win because they make the Saints one-dimensional and stop the run, and they can't rely on Derek Carr to carry the team. Cowboys lose because Alvin Kamara runs for more than 100 yards. From the 6-8-2, Cowboys win because the Saints only beat the saddest team in the NFL last week. That is fair. I'm sure the Giants would like to argue about that as well, but that is a fair point. Why do the Cowboys lose?
If they don't take them seriously.
Yeah.
That's definitely my reason there. The on the field thing that would be kind of a bit of a distraction is a bad injury to somebody important to the Cowboys. Because again, I go to the secondary. We saw Kalen Carson, man. I feel as confident as ever that he's going to grow into that role. Diggs. Did you feel good seeing him off that season-ending injury last year, and he gets the interception? The safeties were thumping last week. They made people not want to be on the field.
Dude, Donovan Wilson.
Even Malik Hooker.
Yeah.
Malik Hooker he popped somebody on the sideline, and I was like, man, this is great. I'm upset that Marshawn Nealon, I need to find out more about him as this weekend goes along, because he's growing into a beneficial piece on that defensive front. And as Mickey's pointed out, it's not just at the edge spot. It's inside. It's outside. There's lots of different ways that they use him. But, man, I'm very confident in what they've pieced together on this defense. I think it's going to be pretty suffocating to Alvin Kamara. So I have a hard time, unless there's somebody missing on the field, believing that the Saints win.
I hope people understand where I'm coming from with this one. Cowboys lose because they don't get a more complete offensive effort. Now, I know the argument's going to be the game was essentially over. The offense probably eased up. You brought up earlier, Dak even said, hey, we'll have some meat on the bone out there. But if you...
And that's when you need to step on.
Yes, absolutely. If you look at the second half, Dak completed 5 of 11 pass attempts for 23 yards, and the Cowboys went 0 for 5 on third down. Now, could that have been a product of we're going to ease up the offense because we think the game's over? Sure. Did Cleveland make adjustments? I suppose that is possible as well. So I would like to see a more complete offensive effort from the Cowboys. And I think if you don't get that, then there's an opportunity that you lose this game. From the 4-6-9, Cowboys win because Cowboy would beat a Saint in a mascot matchup.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
no,
I think this is one of the ones where you're going to lose, right? Because even if the Cowboys shot the person who is a living Saint, then they feel like they're immediately going to go to heaven and advantage the Saint.
But they're dead.
But they get a halo.
So therefore, they can't keep playing.
Oh.
The game. You think they're playing the game?
You've never seen Angels in the outfield?
But that's it.
Checkmate.
From the they're playing in Dallas. They're not playing in New Orleans. Those Angels in the outfield didn't follow them, did they? I think those were only home games.
That is the thing I do not remember about that movie. Did they only show up for home games?
Think they did.
That's a great question.
When they went on the road, they were on their own.
From the 817, shout out to me. I finally made it to Buffalo Wild Wings for B-Dubs.
Oh,
That is awesome. Thank you, everybody who's been out here with us at the Irving location and coming out to all of our Buffalo Wild Wings appearances.
From the 972, Cowboys win because Butter Aubrey is perfect. How much of a luxury is it to have that dude?
Absolutely. I want the game to be 34-0. I want them to line up at straight up midfield. I don't care if it's first down or not. You snap the ball back there. You give him an opportunity to kick a 68-yard field goal because I want to see it. I realize how in a 7-6 game or something like that, maybe that's not the direction that you're going to go. I want to see him get an opportunity to kick the record-breaking field goal.
Me too, man. And I hope McCarthy is like, I think he's aware of it. I hope he's aware enough to be like, you know what, let's go ahead and try this. Especially if Brandon Aubrey's like, I would like that opportunity.
Yes.
And he doesn't seem to be shying away from anything whenever it's time. Didn't he look like in that game that he was going to the sideline kind of like, hey, why didn't you just give me the shot to finish this thing? I could do it. He kind of had that look on his face.
From the 4-6-9, I don't know if you'll allow this, Corey. Cowboys win because, man, those rookies really pick it up. And the Cowboys lose because, F that, we're not losing.
Yeah.
Is that an acceptable win because, lose because?
You know, there have been times I've been extremely confident, and I'm not, like, walking around. Last year we were way too confident against the Arizona Cardinals. And then the Cardinals had a really good game plan that caught the Cowboys on their heels. And I think the Cowboys thought they were going into that thing with a very light game plan that they could just steamroll the Cardinals. I don't look at it the same way because I think they're a good opponent. I just think they're a middle-of-the-pack team, and you should be separate from a middle-of-the-pack team like that.